Okay. Ooh, yeah, you can't really see anything. I guess that's good. Yeah, I'm actually very, very honored to be here. I was an indie dev, and I had many, many tough times, to put it mildly, for sure. So every time that I see indies showing their games, especially today, like, oh my god, like the talent here is amazing. Every time, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. Like, so congratulations. The sound designers, the game designers, like I already bought like that game. I'm buying everything today, which is fine. Well, I'm Jose. I'm from Mexico City. I'm a game developer. I'm a game designer that works at Valve. And when I got to Valve, coming from indie and then more indie and then, being almost broke, or more than broke, like minus a lot. I got to Valve, fortunately enough, me and my team, and I felt like we were not doing enough as well. We were not listening too much to the indie developer, or we were just kind of like interacting with the AA games, or not just quite enough. The reason for this is basically, there's too few of us. There's just too few of us. And while we're trying to fix that, step by step, and one of those steps is coming to this type of places and trying to talk about Steam, but Steam is just so big and it has so many things, like 20 minutes is never gonna cut it. But I really want to frame this talk with the fact that I'm gonna kind of blow, just power through the presentation. Justin, is here with me. He is Steam, pure Steam. So anyway, so we can get to the actual part that's valuable for you and for me and for us, which is the questions, the criticisms, like everything and anything you want to ask us, tell us, except the question, the question. The answer, so whatever. Or I can lie, it's fine. Anyway, so I'm going to power really quickly through the presentation. Well, first of all, Valve. People know about Valve, obviously, like the games and the people that work there, maybe. One of the things that I noticed when I was about to join Valve, and after being at Valve for quite a long time now, it feels, it's a black box, right? It's this weird black box. So when I tell people that Valve, the company that built and maintains Steam, that does developer relations, that does, maintains Dota, maintains CSGO, maintains TF2, and yes, we're making new games and stuff like that, is the size of basically 312 people, I think, more or less. People are like, what? Seriously? But that's for Steam, right? I'm like, no, Steam is around probably 15 people, give or take. So it is definitely a very, very, very small company. And we are always recruiting. Anyway, it's a company that has no structure, it has no hierarchy. We work on what we truly believe is, the most valuable project or place we can spend our time with. So, we have the privilege of not having to worry about budgets. We have the privilege of not having to worry about time constraints most of the time. But the actual most important resource that we have is manpower. So I say that so you can, like dimensionalize, like how, is that a word? That's not, whatever, you get it. The fact that when we decide to be like, yeah, I'll go to Vancouver for 2 days, that means that I'm not working on my game, and I'm not working on designing some Steam features, and Justin is not working on doing dev relations, so he can't talk to, like, if you can't already get a hold of him, well, you're not going to be able to get a hold of him for 2 more days, and that creates problems and creates a bunch of stuff. But it's really important for us to be here and to be at more events and to talk to more communities around the world, because we need to listen to people. We do. Because I truly, we truly believe, and I really think that that's one of the things about Steam, that like Steam Direct and where we're going kind of show you. We really, really believe that basically the platform, the PC platform is obviously the best platform, but it needs to remain open so people like yourselves and people who don't necessarily make games but have something to give to the game space are able to get into it without, and with as less friction as possible. So, philosophy and all that. We have absolute trust in our employees. We have absolute trust in each other. It's a weird place where we all function kind of like small indie studios within a bigger kind of ethos. But anyway, so we kind of get it when we talk to indie developers. It's like, oh yeah, like Joel said, like it's either you work together or there's loyalty there, and it's like something that I really want to like share with you guys, because if like this industry is hard, as you know, and making software is really goddamn hard, and making entertainment is really goddamn hard, so you kind of like mush them together and it creates this really incredibly difficult place to work at. But as you know, it's kind of like the best job in the world, and you couldn't see yourself doing anything else, and then you suffer through a release, and then you're like, man, that was tough, I'm tired, whatever, and then you're like, let's do it all over again. Okay? And especially for indie devs, like for indie studios, you put your, there's a really good friend of mine who's right there, like Chad Jenkins. Hey Chad! Not wanting to share personal things, but like people put their families on the line. They put their everything on the line for a game, which is, to people outside the industry or people within your families or friends are like, are you insane? Just go get a normal job. But you can't, because this is the only thing that you can do, and that's why I really think all of you are heroes, because you are following your dreams. And anyway, we will try to do right by you. Anyway, cool. So that's why we're here. Steam overview. We're gonna go really quickly through what's Steam, but most of you know what's Steam. How to distribute your own game on Steam, and how to, the overview of the developer tools and the upcoming changes, and hopefully some time for Q&A, which is the actual meat of the thing. So, Steam is just, Steam is more than these are actually new numbers for from last week or so. Yeah. So right now we have 16.2 million peak concurrent users, which is insane. This has given the platform a place where you can, where someone like me or someone like Justin or someone like Chad can be like, I want to make a physics game, or I want to make a blog, or I want to make a Luna, or I want to make whatever, a game about tiny people with cute noises, and it's great, and there's enough people, and it continues to grow very rapidly, that will be interested in either giant mechs, or little green men, or Night in the Woods, or whatever, or hopefully the little critters. Splitting critters? Split up critters. So it's been growing exponentially, which is good. It also comes with its own set of challenges. We have 40 million daily active players, which is, to give you a perspective, in 2015 it was 24 million, and 80 million monthly active players, which again 50 million 2 years ago. 49 million. This customer base includes AAA players, players of niche games, and just like people who want to read some novels or like play, the Telltale games or whatever. But what you have to like understand about this is like we're not an app store in the sense that it's like people who download Steam and use Steam, they already inherently have an interest in seeing, like going through the store and going through the, through all the paces and stuff. So they're real people who actually want to see what's there and have disposable income and da-da-da-da. So they're real people playing games, and they go out of their way to play these games. This is an interesting number for sure. There's a significant growth in number of new users making purchases on Steam for the first time. And for example, this is increasing. In August, when I was giving this presentation in South America, just 1 month and a bit, and from August, its number increased by 1.5 million more people, which is nuts. But it's good for you and good for us, so cool. Something that's really important, again, you all know this, maybe you don't, but Steam is worldwide. Like we're in 26 different languages, we're in 28 different currencies, and we're gonna add another 10 currencies next month. We have over 70 payment methods, and we have over 310 global content servers. Why is this important? It's because when you release a game on Steam, you're not just releasing for the Canadian audience, or the Western audience, or the whatever audience. You're releasing everywhere, and sometimes, like in Mexico, in Russia, or whatever places, they're like, I don't want to pay with a credit card, I don't have a credit card, whatever. They go to kiosks, or they go to 7-Elevens, or they go to whatever weird forms of payment they have in Brazil. And so, it's weird. They have like, I don't know, like 17, it's whatever. And the least used is like credit cards, okay? So the thing is, when you put your game on Steam, you're letting a worldwide audience get access to your game, and we try our best because again, it's basically our interests are aligned. It's like, okay, you really need to sell. We want you to sell, so let's make it easy for the consumer to get to your game. So we all make money. Yeah. This is a global revenue breakdown. Obviously, the Asian countries are exploding incredibly. There's steady growth in North America and Europe, but obviously that's just more and more steady because it's been there longer. It's pretty different from even 2 years ago. Previously it was 40-40-20, and now the Asia is growing significantly. Russia is growing significantly. Latin America, it's growing a lot as well. There's a bunch of indie devs there who are amazingly talented, but all of you are, so. The cool thing about Steam, what I'm saying, is that it's diverse, right? Like, personally, I would never probably play The Rancher. Like, I don't get it. It's like, whatever, but it's huge, and YouTubers love it, and whatever, and or Squad. Like, that's just not my type of game. Like, I play stuff like, well, it doesn't matter. Or this war. It's a hateful boyfriend. Which is another example. Like, how is that even a thing? Well, Steam kind of like made it happen in the sense that, it was there, people found it, and then YouTube and blah, 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 and people bought it, and it was huge. And then that gave access or opened the market for games like Dream Daddy, which is, again, a huge thing, and it just like came out of nowhere, and it's huge. Or games like This War of Mine, which is like, heart-wrenching and sad and terrible, and I don't want to play that ever, ever, ever again. Or games like Undertale, which is like, one-man team, and amazing storyteller and amazing twist. I haven't played it, please don't spoil it. But one day when I have time. Even PUBG, we didn't see it coming, right? Like, a lot of people are like, well, why don't you feature this? Why don't you feature that? You should have more curation. It's like, we would never have chosen PUBG. And PUBG is like killing CSGO and well, not killing, it's just surpassing CSGO in numbers. But it's true, it's like we we would never be like, oh yeah, you know what, let's feature that thing, or do that, or what would have happened with PUBG in other environments? I don't know. But in this environment, it exploded, and they did their own thing, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and, you know, bless them, whatever. So this is data through the end of June, and success, you know, depends usually on goals, team size, budget, etc. But there's so many variables. Like sometimes people just don't expect success, and it's insanely successful. Or sometimes people are like, "This is a perfect game," and they release, and they just don't understand that why people are not enjoying it. Well, maybe you didn't test it enough. Maybe you didn't. Who knows? Like every game is its own universe. But this is. There's a misconception. Oh my God, 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay. There's a misconception that the more games are released on Steam, the less money people make, and that's just like factually untrue. I'm just going to go through this. Steam is a big opportunity. Yes. Huge audience. Many games. Sell, buy, play, out to Steam. We don't sell ad space. We don't pick winners or losers. We're great games. Find their audience. There's no secret handshake. There's, you know, it's a store where you're spending tons and tons of money and time. What makes a good PC game? I don't know. You can build a zombie survival game or not. You can do many, many things. Yay. General tips. Which is this. This is probably the talk that I should have done, the general tips to release on Steam. We'll think about it, we'll come back for sure. And do our own thing, maybe. But basically, you know, the thing that you have to take away is like releasing on Steam is not the plan. That is a thing that hopefully you understand that it's a no-risk thing that you should do. But if your plan to really to make your game successful is, oh, I'll release on Steam, and it's like, no, you could do other things like, you know, content creators or marketing or talking to your friends about it, testing, there's a bunch of things. Make a plan, sign up, talk to communities, trailers, get your game in front of people so they, you know, they tell you this is not fun, this is not interesting, what should I change? Language use, English, Chinese. Not surprising. Many more. Oh, this is important for a lot of people here because a lot of people who want to bring mobile games to PC need to consider like resolution, input, the business model, and user-generated content. You know? Steam Direct, super easy. There's a digital paperwork, $100 per app. It's recoupable. Like once you start selling, we'll give it back. It's not for us. It's just so we can make sure you're not scamming us or anyone else, or you're not using like fraudulent whatever. There's a brief app review, and this just means like if you say it's gonna run on SteamOS or macOS or OS X, or whatever, then you just make sure. Yeah. Take away. It's easy. Do it. Yes. 20 minutes, man. Many tools. So many tools. Matchmaking, achievement. There's a lot of tools. All of them free, of course. You can use them or not, whatever. Or you can be like, I want to use Steam's matchmaking or whatever. I'll just use a third party. Yeah, sure, whatever. You can do whatever you want. Early access. That's a whole... We'll talk about it. Inventory service, developer support. The next things. So the next things is, they promised me they would give me like 10 more minutes, so we'll see. It's you who are not gonna eat, but whatever. You can go eat. Steam curators. So we're revamping the Steam curators, the whole thing. So we're gonna help out with, you know, them, making them better at discovering games and giving them the tools they need so they can be better at that job. We're putting a lot of work into the system, so you know, you can, you know, people ask for curation. It's like, well, I don't think people care what we have to say, but they do care what, you know, Total Biscuit has to say, or they do care more what the, I don't know, the local indie blah whatever in Vancouver has to say. So they'll have like much better tools to do all of that. It's in beta right now. So we're putting it in the hands of big creators, and we're gonna test it and iterate and so on. Developer update, we're gonna search by curator, by tag, language, OS. Verify YouTubers, Facebook, Twitter followers, etc. Send your games directly to curators, so no need to be like, oh, please play my game. Here's like a, whatever. It's like you just send it through Steam, the key. Very secure, very secure. No need to mess with keys. We're obviously continuously iterating. We just changed a couple of things in the review process. So review bombing and so on. Camposanto. I won't say anything else. Let's go. Oh my God. Steam events, that's important. We're gonna have a central event calendar. Good. And Steam library, you know, it'll improve immeasurably. It will. And if, you know, take away. Yes, good store. We keep players engaged. Awesome. And okay, so that's pretty much it. There's still of us here. He will join me for the Q&A. Cool.